Welcome back to the Phenomenal Villainess podcast, where we talk about life domination at its finest. All right, so today's topic, we'll be talking about knowing when to say no to grow. So saying no, comma, to grow. And the best way that I can explain this concept is through an analogy, a roller coaster analogy. So, when you were younger, actually, I'll speak from my perspective because not everybody wanted to go on a roller coaster. However, when I was younger, I really, really wanted to go on a roller coaster. However, I was too short. I was too small. I was too young to go on the roller coaster. And even though all the adults were able to go on the roller coaster, all the taller folks were able to go on the roller coaster, I was not. And to measure whether or not I was able to go on there was a little man or a cutout showing you just how tall you had to be to ride on the roller coaster. So I would go and I would measure myself. Every year I would measure myself to see, will I be able to go on this roller coaster, right? And I thought it was so unfair that I could not ride on the roller coaster because I did not hit the line where I was allowed to, right? However, when I was finally tall enough to ride the roller coaster, it was incredible. It was such an incredible feeling to know that, oh my gosh, I actually hit the line. Like, I can actually go on this roller coaster. This is going to be amazing, right? Looking back, when I was younger, there is a reason why I was not allowed to go on the roller coaster. There was a reason why they had that limit. You had to be a certain height to go on this roller coaster. And even though you really want to go on it and you feel like you deserve to go on it because you're mature enough or you feel like you're ready, really and truly you are not ready. I was not ready to go on that roller coaster at that height, at a smaller height. When you look at it, it's just like, now as an adult, I look back and like, okay, if a child or a person is too short to go on a roller coaster, it's a safety precaution. They can't go on this roller coaster because they could slip out. This can cause a lawsuit. This can cause many issues to occur where they have to shut down the amusement park. They have to shut down, the ride on itself. With people still on the roller coaster because somebody slipped out or whatever the precautions are. There's a reason why you're not supposed to go on a certain ride if you don't hit the minimum requirements, right? And the same thing is with life. If we go about life thinking, I'm ready for everything, I'm going to get what I want, I'm going to take everything that I want, this is what I want, not everything is meant to be, especially not in certain seasons in our lives. There's seasons, doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter how much life experience you've had, doesn't matter, no. Certain things are meant to happen at certain times. And we have to grow to get there. We have to say no. We have to say, you know what? I can't go on this ride. Because if I go on this ride, I could be putting myself at danger. I could be putting other people's lives at danger. I could be, an emotional wreck. So many things could happen. Let's say if it wasn't even a safety precaution for a small child to go on there. It could also be a maturity level. Maybe this person is just way too young to go on there. You know what I mean? Like, they might be too short, but really it's like you have to be above a certain age to go on there, because if you go on there, if you put a toddler on a roller coaster, that is child abuse. Okay? That is just, I'm not a mother. But that's not right. Okay? You don't put a toddler on a roller coaster. That is messed up. That's other, That can cause other issues. There's reasons why there's different um, different amusement parks within the amusement parks for different age groups. You know what I mean? Like in an amusement park, they might have like the kiddie section, and it's going to be closer to the ground, and it's going to be something that a parent could be, on the ride with them. Or it's small and it holds their little bodies, their little roller coasters. That is the roller coaster that, children can go on. The ones that are really close to the ground and it just goes up and down, nothing too crazy. You know what I mean? Because that suits their maturity level. If we force ourselves to gain something that isn't for us in the season, like God can be like, hey, this is yours. This is yours. You asked for this. This is yours. However, I can't give it to you just yet. So you have to say no to the need for something or the want of something when it's not the time. Because if we take what isn't ours for that season, it can cause more harm than good. I was watching a video of this woman. I can't remember her name right now, but she has been single for 13 years. And she was talking about how if she had dated the way that the Lord wanted her to date instead of the way that she wanted to date, she might have, this might not have been her story. You know what I mean? Forcing certain things doesn't help us. In the past, I was like that too. I would force certain situations. I would force friendships, relationships. I would try and force, people to like me by doing the most, by people pleasing and all that stuff. And it didn't help me grow. It made me be surrounded by people who didn't really acknowledge me, didn't really love me the way that I needed to be loved. Sure, a person can tell you they love you, when you ask them why they love you, their reasonings might be a little, what do you say, superficial. I once asked somebody, why do you love me, right? And their answer was, because of the things that you do for me and the way you make me feel. When I dissected what that person had said to me, it didn't feel like they understood me or that they loved me for me, but for how I loved them. And that goes to show, if you're not being valued in your friendships or in your relationships, then you have to really realize or really acknowledge what is happening. Does this make sense? Is it time for me to be on this roller coaster, or do I need to go on a different ride? Do I need to experience a different ride for a while, get used to that ride, master that ride, and then allow my growth to happen, instead of forcing situations, forcing relationships, forcing, a job that just isn't yours. I remember looking back when I really wanted a certain position. I wanted this position so badly. I wanted this type of position. But when I looked at the requirements, it said I needed a degree. Every single job that I looked for, it required a degree. At the time, I only had a college diploma. That's all I had. And so I was just like, and a bunch of certificates, but still, it asked for a degree. That was a preferred requirement. And so when that happened, I realized, okay, this is not for me. Right now, in this season, I can't have that job right now because I need to go back to school. I need to go get that degree. And as I go back to school and I'm working hard and I'm figuring myself out and I'm learning new things. When I have left university and I graduated, my wants had changed. What I needed, it changed. And so when I eventually got a job, I realized, wow, it wasn't necessarily in my field, but it was something that really touched me and helped me grow as a person. And it was like, okay, what I had wanted many years ago isn't what I needed. It's what I thought I needed. Trying to force something, it doesn't matter how many times you apply for that job, it doesn't matter how many interviews you did. Sometimes you'll go into an environment and you just won't fit in because it's just not for you. Because you're trying to force a situation, trying to force people to like you. You're trying to, be not authentic. Being a phenomenal villainess, you must be authentic. You must be true to yourself. You must love yourself and honor yourself. Have grace with yourself. Be patient with yourself. If you're not patient with the growth that will ensue, then it will consume you. I look back on it, being that little girl, wanting to go on the roller coaster and not being tall enough. And yeah, I was a little bummed out, but that didn't stunt my growth. I didn't kick and scream and go on. No. I found another ride that was fun. And there was people around me who were at the same height as I was, or a little shorter. So when I looked around, I wasn't the only one not ready to go on the roller coaster. And it wasn't my fault that I wasn't tall enough. You know what I mean? You have to give yourself grace and have some self-compassion. Understand that because you might not be ready for something, it's not your fault. It is okay to be simply not ready. We have to prepare ourselves. We have to work towards it. You realize, okay, this is what I want. Great. Now it's up to you to mentally prepare yourself to when you will be ready. And by the time you grow to the certain height that you've been wanting to, will you still want to go on that roller coaster? And when you do go on the roller coaster, will it actually have been worth the wait? Or was it just anticlimactic? And you're like, oh, I really didn't like that ride. I actually don't even like roller coasters. You know what I mean? This kind of sucks. This wasn't fun. Or this is boring. I was. Because that's what happened after a while. Once I got tall enough and I was able to ride the roller coaster, I was like, okay, that was fun. And then I went to a different amusement park and their roller coasters were even crazier. And I was like, okay, this is insane. This is crazy. When I went back to my hometown and went on our roller coaster, I was like, okay, this is so boring. It's crazy that I was waiting so long to go on this roller coaster when I was younger. And I saw the world of roller coasters, and I realized this roller coaster wasn't even worth the wait, really. This was boring. And then years later, now I don't even want to go on roller coasters. I'm like, I don't like that feeling in my stomach when we're going up and up and up and up. Final destination, like, no, I'm so uninterested, you know? So really and truly, you have to ask yourself, yes, I'm not ready to go on this roller coaster, but will I still want to go on it when the time comes? And in all honesty, it doesn't even matter, because you have to say no to certain things to grow. You must say no to grow. I was listening to a Temp song this morning, and I was just like reading the lyrics as she sang, and the lyrics go, oh, all grass does is grow. All grass does is grow. So why would you stop? That's all grass does. All grass does is grow. Okay? Why would we want to stop growing? Why would we say no to growth? Don't say no to growth. Say no so you can grow. Say no to fear so you can grow. Say no to doubt so you can grow. Say no to uncertainty. Say no to distractions so you can grow. Don't say no to growth. When you say no to growth, you're sitting around doing nothing all day. You're sitting around allowing your evenings to pass you by without accomplishing anything. You're sitting